This is Gam Chat. My name is Greg.
I'm McCoy.
And I'm D.
We're three Filipino gay guys trying to make sense of anything and everything in the world today. Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to our Halloween podcast! All right, McCoy, what's going on today?
Okay, let's try something new. What's the win of the week for you guys?
Win for the week. I was able to get to know someone on a deeper level, so I guess I can consider it as an upgrade from an acquaintance to a possible friendship. Yeah, that's always a win for me.
Yeah, because usually you're just cold and heartless, dude. Now you've leveled up a little bit.
Well, you know me. If it's like, okay, are you gonna pay my bills? Then why am I gonna waste time with you?
So what? Wait, what changed?
Well, I just got to know them a little bit more, and found out we have a lot of things in common. I guess what you say is like we have the same mission, so yeah, that's always a good thing. And I got excited. I haven't connected with someone in a while, friendship wise, so that's always good.
Wait, how come you don't want to meet up with us, but you meet up with this person?
Oh my god, that's a good point.
Yes.
How come you meet up with them?
Is it because
meet us up?
maybe because he already knows us in every kind of level, so he's like, I'm done.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm like, oh, this is where I draw the line.
I'm done with you, queens. Well, okay, so my win of the week is, so I've always liked hot showers, right? Even when I'm in the Philippines, I'd always take hot showers. I don't take cold showers at all. And then I came across this information that, by practicing doing cold and hot showers for 5 minutes. So you do 10 seconds of hot water, 20 seconds of cold water, and it's supposed to, increase your immunity, your metabolism. And so I decided to try it. And I hate cold showers, but I was like, I'll give it a chance. And I've been doing it for a week. And I gotta say, I really like doing it. I didn't think I would like it at all. So I think the win of the week is kind of just trying new things and finding out that there's nothing to be scared of cold showers.
Well, when I was young, we had no choice because it was only cold water in the morning.
In the Philippines?
Yes. With a bucket and a tabo.
No, actually, Greg, I saw something about that. It's this one. I hate to say this. It's this one YouTuber that I've been following. He's very big on changing your habits, your routines. Don't not to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a routine to make sure you're getting things done. But he did say in the morning he starts his day with a 5-minute shower to really just wake himself up. And he knows that it's, something he doesn't look forward to doing daily, but he knows that the benefits of doing that afterwards outweighs the pain that you're sitting there. Obviously, you have to do it in tolerance. You don't just blast in. You gradually increase the water. But also, it's that mentality that you're not wasting your time in the shower for more than 5 minutes.
Well, I am still wasting my time in the shower for a few more minutes, but there is something about taking a cold shower that I wasn't aware of. It does wake you up.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I feel like I could breathe better. I don't know, because it's so cold. I don't know. My lungs feel like it's open for some reason. And I'm going to continue doing it and we'll see what happens. But so far, I think it was good to branch out.
No, I agree with you because one time the water heater was broken and I really had to take a cold shower and it woke me up. It really did. And I felt more active, I felt alive because I couldn't wait to jump out of the shower. And I was jumping up and down. It was really cold, but yeah, so I know what you mean. It clears your mind for some reason because warm showers or hot, it's so comfortable and you just...
It is.
Yeah, and you just don't want to leave.
Yeah.
You're just okay.
You're in this kind of womb and you just don't want to come out yet. Like that, right?
Yes.
Or a closet. Whichever.
Or closet. Yeah, the warm closet.
You guys don't have heated closets? I'm sorry.
No, queen. No, queen.
How about you, McCoy? What was your win for this week?
More like a couple of weeks, actually. Establishing new, genuine friendships, which I thought I wouldn't do because I'm so cold and aloof.
So you're like D, like
And you say I'm cold.
you and D are just cold. You're like, but this week guys warmed up.
No, D is reestablishing a deeper connection with someone he knows. I'm establishing something from scratch.
And so wait, what did you learn? That it was great to create something new?
To be more
a new
open,
friendship?
yeah, to be more open, get to know people instead of being comfortable where you are and your relationships now. Sometimes you have to venture out so you get more enlightened, or you just get to know people. And I forget it's a good thing to get to know new people.
Yeah, at one point for me, like I felt like I had the friends I wanted to have, and so why make new friends?
Yeah.
Or why go to the extra effort of establishing new connections or new friendships? Because they're like, I'm good, I don't need that. And usually sometimes when you meet new friends or you build up new relationship, there's like drama.
Yeah.
At least, when we were
Yeah,
younger. And so I was like, I don't want to do that. But now it's like, it's kind of good for the brain.
Yeah.
It's like cold water.
Exactly.
Wakes you up.
Wakes you up.
So with that being said, our topic for this week is Halloween. The Halloween special. Can you make my voice sound a little bit scary too? Could you do a sound effect for me, D? Halloween.
Oh, wait. Wait, it wasn't on yet? I thought you had like a filter.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Because it was scary. How was that good? Hello. So, now that we're talking about Halloween, because it's October and it's also Filipino History Month, I guess. Is that correct? Filipino History Month?
Filipino American?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So we'll talk about Halloween for this one. And what was Halloween like for you guys growing up? Like trick-or-treating?
For me, it was a religious thing, traditionally.
Like you guys sacrificed.
There's
What do you mean? I don't know.
whoa.
You gotta break it down.
Some kind of cult.
No, well, my family, we sacrifice a goat so we can make caldereta.
Oh.
Oh my God. You know what? Your family does that almost every other week. So
I have some in the fridge, actually. Goat caldereta.
Well, no, I think I missed out in the tradition of what American Halloween was, because I came here when I was around 11 already, and I thought I was like too old to get into like a costume and pretend to be someone else. And practicality wise, to me, it's like I'm gonna wear this once a year. Like I don't feel I feel bad. I feel bad sometimes that I never got into that, but it's something I never grew up to kind of enjoy or participate in.
well, do they do trick-or-treat in the Philippines?
I think now they do.
Yeah, now
Like
they
dress
do.
up in like the American way.
Yeah.
Like dress up in costumes and going neighbor to neighbor.
Because when I was a kid, I don't remember us doing that. It was really more religious, but maybe because we couldn't afford costumes. I don't know. I just don't remember it being like that.
Well, I don't think they do it in a sense like how we do here, where it's neighborhood kids
Yeah.
dressing up. I think they participate in the adult Halloween.
When I was younger, I used to go trick-or-treating a lot with my cousin.
While you're riding a golf cart?
Well, you had to get down the hill somehow, right?
Yes.
So
Downhill.
it happens. One time I kind of broke protocol and went trick-or-treating with a friend in Walnut, California. And we went from house to house. I think I was like 10. And it was just us. There was no adults. And we used to go around. And then we were walking by ourselves. There's just like three of us. And this guy comes up to us. And he says to me, directly to me, "Give me your candy." And he grabbed my candy and ran. And I was just like, I just got candy snatched. And my friend looked at me, was like, oh, I didn't know what to say. He goes, and then he said to me, don't cry. I was like, how could I not cry? Like, I just got mugged in Walnut, California, the hood. Walnut, California isn't the hood, but
It's not. Yeah.
It isn't. But that day it was for me. It was horrible. But usually, besides going trick-or-treating, we would always do like decorate the house and whatnot. And people used to drive up to our house just to get all the candy. We always gave like the large candy bars.
Of course, you had a large house.
No, it's just because we're nice people, you jerk.
That's when the middle and lower people would go
Yes,
up the
they
hill
would. They drive up.
to collect. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the hood that gives the full size candy bars.
Yes.
Not the mini fun size ones.
Why would you get the mini size ones? That's just rude. These kids need to eat. That came out kind of wrong. So you guys didn't have costumes growing up. So D, you didn't have any costumes. You didn't have any stunt costumes.
No.
But what would it be?
I mean, my daily costume was an immigrant Filipino making it day by day.
Still in costume.
It's still a costume. So, it comes with a lot of baggage.
Clearly.
But if I was to dress up as someone else, it would be, you know what? I'll make it easier. I already have a shaved head. I don't know the year. Maybe you guys could tell me. But Britney Spears, she went crazy and like hit an SUV
Yes,
with an
with
umbrella.
umbrella.
So I just need track shorts, knee-high socks with juicy, what do you call
Juicy
it?
Couture.
Hoodie and an umbrella, and just go around the neighborhood hitting cars.
So you want to be a crazy white woman, crazy rich white woman.
To just walk away smashing shit.
Oh. How about you, McCoy? Did you dress up for Halloween?
No, because I was a religious teenager. So I was.
But not even in school they would have like costumes.
Yeah, you're right, they did. But because I was very religious, to me, Halloween was the devil's holiday. So I steered clear of it. That's what I was being told in the church. So yeah, no dressing up, no participating in Halloween, no nothing like that. And so I never dressed up. And even now, I just don't feel the need to. Not because of any kind of religious anything. I just never felt the need to.
Like, I went to a Catholic school growing up, and we had Halloween, and we had everyone dressed up, and they had contests. One time I was a giant clown with big feet. It was cute.
Yeah, but I was...
One time I was an astronaut.
But I was a real Christian, so...
Wow.
Take that out. That's a
Sister
joke.
Lynn and Sister Joanne would not agree with you.
That was just a joke.
Joke long, joke long.
I think until even now, I really hesitate on dressing up as someone who I am not. Like, even for work, like some of you guys might know, like I work somewhat in the medical field, and you have an option to wear scrubs. And I do daily admin work, and I'm just scared to wear scrubs, walk to the store next day, and someone's choking, and I'm like, hey, someone, you're a nurse, do this. I'm like, I can check your eligibility, and then do intake, but farther than that, you're gonna die. Like, I don't want to do that. So
Wait.
I can do billing, I can do all of this, I can do payroll, but I cannot save your life. And I'm sorry, I'm wearing a scrubs for, falsehood.
But
that's my thing.
They will forgive you on Halloween.
But still, like, I have this, like, traumatic thing in my head. Like, if that happens, I'm fucked. Like, someone's gonna die.
trauma.
Wait, like choking,
trauma.
like choking on food or
Anything.
any kind of choking.
Don't get bastos, McCoy.
I'm not.
I know what you're thinking. Choking on food, or I don't know. Choking
okay.
on you know what.
No, because if it's choking
Hi,
on food, I
bastos.
can probably help because I was trained to do that. But choking on anything else is like,
Well, like as an adult, like I haven't dressed. I mean, I do like to dress up for Halloween, but I have this thing where I like. So my aunt, she sews, and sometimes I work with her to make my costume.
you work with her or you
And-
tell her
Yeah.
what you want.
No, I work with her about like we design kind of like the costume, and I really like designing.
Yeah, it's kind of like Project Runway. He draws the things, and then it's like, here you go, make it happen. Tim Gunn.
Yeah, there's a new show called Making the Cut, and that's what they do. They draw it, and then somebody makes it. But my auntie and I will work together to make costumes, and I really like to make costumes of interesting enough to have like to create monsters that eat me. I like that. So it's either like I would create like a big giant spider, like monster thing, kind of cartoonish that would wrap around and try to eat my neck, or I'll make a giant snake that wrap around me that eats my head. So I'm thinking about creating another costume of a monster eating me, like my whole body. But that's still in the works. I don't know if I'll be ready by Halloween.
Okay. The whole time you were talking, I got stuck with a spider eating your neck, right? But I heard eating your nuts. So the whole time I'm like, oh my God, what?
Where is your mind right now, McCoy?
In a scary place.
It's clearly what's on your mind right now, and it's nuts, apparently. For me, well, Halloween's fun. And we've all had some tradition during Halloween, right? Or what is your tradition? McCoy, you talked about your family tradition.
It wasn't really a tradition because my family wasn't religious, but a big part of the Philippines, they go to the cemetery on either All Souls Days or All Saints Days. It depends. I think it doesn't really matter, but they go and they light a candle for their like dearly departed. And we did that. We went to the countryside and we did that for a couple of times. I remember doing it a couple of times, but my family didn't really do it consistently. So that was a thing you did, and that's why when I say it's Halloween was a religious thing for us, because that's what we did. We didn't dress up. We didn't go trick or treat. We went to the cemetery.
Did you drop food and stuff at the cemetery?
Not at the cemetery. Well, we ate at the cemetery, but at the house they put food out. And I always wondered, like, why is that? It's like ants are getting to it. Not like I always wondered, and I would look at it. It's like it was such a waste because I didn't understand the whole leaving it for your ancestors and all that. So,
how about you, D? Did you have any traditions?
Traditions?
Even in high school, did you do something like every Halloween with your friends?
I mean, I still, went to parties, got drunk at a certain age.
12.
But yeah, no, I still went to parties drinking. I didn't feel left out not dressing up, but I guess it was just an excuse to be out and about again because, I grew up with relatives, so they were a little bit on the monitoring what I do and where I go. So Halloween was like free for all, like another day that I can kind of sneak away. And if I happen to not come home, I'll like push the boundaries and don't come home until the next day. So
wow, you're like a bad kid. All right.
Yeah. Ta-da.
I was thinking about this because it's Halloween. I was thinking, what traditions do I have with my friends from back in the day? And the memorable ones is like in high school, all my friends went to different Catholic high schools, and we would all meet up and we would play like those like Ouija boards.
oh my gosh, great.
Have you guys done those?
I did it once and I will never do it again.
Yeah.
And we had another game that we only played during Halloween or the month of Halloween. So it's all of October. And we discovered a game that was originally, I think it was called the Seven Doors. Have you guys any heard of those games?
No, but it sounds scary.
I don't know, Greg. I grew up in a small house. We only had 2-3 doors.
That is actually a small house anywhere. Front door, bathroom, bedroom. So I get it.
Greg, you had 7 doors in like one wing of your house.
One wing in the house.
Some of the traditions that we would do is that we discovered this game called Seven Doors, and then we modified it. So this is how it worked. Well, I won't tell the rules of the game or how it's done because the results were quite freaky and scary. But how it would work, we would say these words. 2 people are involved. So one person would lay down, and that person who's laying down would lay on someone's lap and massage their temples, like to relax them. And everybody would gather around and light candles. And then we do this introduction of sorts. And then the person laying down with their eyes closed. And then we do this kind of it almost sounds like hypnosis, like introducing people, da da da. And the person laying down, they would count a certain way. And by the time they get to the point in their dream, they're so conscious, and then everybody is invited to ask questions like what they see. And we played this game a lot, and it was quite interesting because let's say like one incident, this girl who we did it to, she was talking about like, what do you see? And she was saying, I see clouds. And she was talking about all the different things that she sees. And she started just laughing, just out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden she said she got cold. And then all of a sudden you could see goosebumps on her arms. And we start asking her questions. We're like, what else do you see? Like, she was, yeah, there's somebody. We're like, where? She's like, it's over there. Probably like, not too far. I'm like, okay. And we're like, wait, how old are you? She's like, I'm 7. She wasn't 7. She was like 16. And then we're like, who's that guy over there? I'm like, go to the guy that she's seeing, that she's talking about. And then all of a sudden she started crying, like tears out of nowhere, started crying. And she was telling us that her hands were bleeding and her head was bleeding. And then we say these words, and then we held her up, like they pushed her up so to wake up. And we asked her, do you remember that? She's like, no, I have no idea what did I say. And we'd play this game all the time with various people. Now, it didn't work with everybody that we did this seance trance thing to, but it had just really scary results. And everyone had different stories, and not everybody knew about the game, but you could see that they would shift in how they would respond or change. But it always started good in their stream, and then it end into like a nightmare. Those are some of the games we played.
I don't like that.
Have you ever done anything like that? Like seance?
Well, like I said, I was very religious as a teenager, so no.
We did. I mean, growing up, my cousins, I don't necessarily think this was around Halloween time, but we had the homemade version of a Ouija board, which is Spirit of the Glass.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard. My mom told me about Spirit of
Yeah,
Glass.
you get like a cardboard paper, they put
Yeah.
like the letters and everything, and you do everything in your hand, but you use a drinking glass upside down, and like you lit a match, you put the smoke inside, and you do, you know, your prayer or chants, whatever you do. Yeah, I remember my cousins. I think, around 11 already, right before I moved here. And with some cousins that were older and around my age. And we did that. And, you know, the first thing was like answering the dumb questions here and there. Fingers on the glass, it was moving. I remember distinctively that we asked, can we let go of the glass? Because the thing is, you have to ask for permission for everything that you do to make sure that it's allowed, or, you know, I guess, quote unquote, spirits are not gonna, you know, are everyone is prepared, or it's almost like consent. It's weird. So we asked, and then it moved to yes, so we let go, and then we started asking more things. And I don't really recall what everyone else's questions were. I asked my question if my parents were going to separate or stay together. And I remember it gave me the answer. So I don't know if it's like a childhood trauma shit that I went through.
Oh.
But it went to yes. And then from then on, I was just like, oh, okay, I know. Like, I have accepted everything else. It was literally the visual of the glass moving itself from one question to another that we asked, that was like distinct in my head. We ended it like asking, is it okay to do? We're gonna let you go. Please make sure you're not, you know, nothing else happens after this. And then we let go of things. But then again, my house that my parents built for us was like known to be like, I guess, high activity spirit wise too. So.
Like a portal. Don't they have those portals in the Philippines they talk about? My mom told me like my ancestors' house in Iloilo was like somehow this portal that everyone would talk about. Like when there was a big fire, like the house was the only one that survived. And so the saying was that there was some portal to the other world over there.
Well, the belief in all that in the Philippines is really, really strong.
Yeah. Like my mom told me about Spirit of Glass. So that must be like a tradition in the Philippines that no one talks about.
Well, because here a Ouija board is just a board game for most people. In the Philippines, it's not just a game. They take that seriously.
And I mean, we don't have, what is that, Hasbro?
Yeah.
Like, let's go to Target.
Hasbro.
Let's go to Target or like Walmart to buy a
Yeah.
game board. It's like, no, we have to make it out of our
Yeah.
freaking hands. But I'm partial with all of those things, but not necessarily the ghost part, but like spirits around us.
In the glass. Well, okay. On that note, we're going to take a quick break because we'll come back with some spooky, scary stories.
Wait, did you turn on that scary voice already? Or-
Shut up. It is. All right, we are back. In this part of the podcast, we're going to talk about spooky stories. Dee, do you want to go first?
So I mentioned to you guys like the house that my family built. Actually, we inherited the land from my grandparents. It was like our first family home. And from what I was told by the neighbors,
Wait, before you go on, you guys are ballers up in the Philippines. Hey.
I mean, isn't that every immigrant story? You're rich as fuck in the Philippines. When you come here, you start from the bottom.
No,
No.
actually, I'm complete opposite. You spoiled brat.
Well, you know, these family
Well, you can't
owns.
say- you can't say that.
They own the Philippines.
No,
Not quite. Okay,
But
take
no,
that
no.
out.
Just the bottom half.
like I asked for the neighborhood kids, and I guess it used to be like a factory that our house was being built on. So I guess there was like some accidents, or sometimes when the factory was shut down at night, you'll see like figures like kind of passing by the windows. I took nothing of it because it's like kids who were probably scaring me, you know, around the neighborhood, like when we first moved in. So, but I remember like my dad was adamant in like doing these rituals. He built the foundation first, and before he built anything else, like he did the whole like, what is it, like dripping the chicken's
Blood, yeah.
around, in certain specific like
Yeah.
portions of the house to
Yeah.
make sure it's protected.
Wait, was this Was the house built over a grave?
No, it was an old factory.
An old factory, but I don't
Was
know.
the factory built over a grave?
I don't know. I mean, they've had, again, my parents has had, the land was in our family, like, even before I was born. Yeah, so, I mean, after that, my parents built the house. To me, it was big. My dad had a green thumb, so he had, like, a garden in the back. We had this, what is it? Like, mythical creatures that we call...
Duende?
Duwende. So, it's like, yeah. So, it's small...
Okay.
Elves.
No, not quite.
No,
More
not
like...
necessarily elf, because they're like, they can be good or bad.
Yeah,
right?
okay. No,
Smurfs.
like a gnome.
No. Yeah.
But they have different colors that correspond to their personality, like red, black, white, green. They do different things, and if it's like a white duende, it's usually considered good.
Ugh, water gotta be white.
Privilege.
Yeah, well, it's like pure and all that. So so you have to be careful. What you have in your house, then you have to do certain things.
So you want like a white duende in
Yeah.
your house.
Yes, sometimes you can't choose.
So D, talk about these duendes in your family's home.
My youngest brother would sometimes like play outside, and we'll just hear him giggle and laugh, actively talking, playing with someone. And then our babysitter would come out and just be like, who are you talking to? Oh, nothing, I'm just playing, da, da, da. And then we kind of ignored that for how many months until it kept on like progressing, and like he kept on like being really more convinced that he was playing with someone. So my dad like built like a small house in the back, literally like almost like a doll house with like a bed and everything, and he would put food, like candles whenever that happens, just to kind of to please them, to make sure that it's the right kind. And there would be instances where he would leave his gardening tools there while he's working on something, turn around, it's not there anymore, it's missing. The next day it's exactly at the same spot that he left it. Or and that happened a lot in that house. Toys, I'd leave a specific position. I played a lot with Legos, and I had like a cabinet where I had a lock in it just so my little brothers won't fuck with it. And I would lock things, like I built like a whole gas station or a city, and then I'll lock it up so no one else can touch it. And then when I would go back, the figures were all like mismatched. So it was little things like that. I've always been around it, not necessarily scared of it, but it's just, I think we were taught to respect whatever was around us. What is that, McCoy? When you pass by certain like
Tabi-tabi po.
yes, like really
It's like excusing
bushy
yourself.
areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you pay respects to whoever was
Yes.
there before.
Well,
you.
because also duendes, you can hurt them by stepping on them. For some reason,
Yeah.
they don't see you coming, I guess. I don't know. And they can put a curse on you. And then you have to go to like albolario to like do a ritual on you
Healers.
or something like and then they tell you what you need to do. You have to apologize, you have to sacrifice this, you have to leave food, whatever. So you just say tabi tabi po. That's what you do.
Those kind of beliefs came from my dad. He was very big on supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Even like dreams, he always followed that house that we've had. It felt eerie in some areas, not in a sense of just like a scared kid. We always felt like there was a presence around us, just kind of just like watching over everything that we did. Even my dogs was, like we had like one fluffy dog who was just like really barking around and following things around the garden.
It's so interesting because my family built their house here in the States, and it was blessed like twice by a priest. But there are like some random incidents that would happen. For example, my brother would tell me the story one time. He doesn't believe in spirits or ghosts.
Yeah.
He stays up late, like maybe it's 4 a.m. And one time he said around 3 o'clock, all the doorknobs in the whole entire house started shaking violently for like 15 seconds. And then just stopped. And he still can't explain. He's, I don't know what that was, but he was, I could hear all the doorknobs down the hall shaking and rattling. And this is other incident that happened when I was in high school. I came home and surprisingly nobody was at home, which is odd because there's always somebody there. And I just came back from tennis practice and I was like tired and achy, and just turned off all the lights in my house and locked all the doors and just went to my room to sleep. And then I was sleeping in my room, and my room is on the second floor on top of the back door that leads to the garages. And I was about to sleep, my lights were on, and I heard bang, 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 bang. Someone's banging on the back door to the garage. And I was like, oh my gosh, my monong locked himself out again, and I was pissed. And then it went bang, 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 bang. I yelled, I was like, I'm coming, because it's far for me to walk to. And so I was irritated. So I get out, I was pissed. I was running down like the stairs, all dark. And I kept on hearing this loud banging that was going on. And then by the time I get to the back door, I looked at the peephole and there was nobody there. I was like, what? And then I was like, I'm messing around with it, and I opened the door. All the garages were closed. The door to the outside was closed. There was no way to get to it, and it was just dead silence. And to this day, I could not explain the eerie. It was an eerie like feeling when I opened the door. Like it was just dead silence. I was like, oh hell no! And I just like locked the door and ran up in my room because I couldn't explain it because I didn't expect not to see anybody. So that was just one of the weird instances in my family's house. And then on to my fun story. So this next story is more, I would say, more of a creepy story, or just like an eerie story, like you said, D. So this is a true story that took place when I was in high school. So maybe like a few years ago, give or take.
A couple of decades, you mean?
No comment. All right. So
Oh, I thought that was the scary part. That he was lying about his age. Okay.
You could only see my face now. But this story took place when I was in high school. It's a true story. It was New Year's Eve. My family was having their annual New Year's Eve party, and I invited two of my friends to the party. We'll call them Laura and Christine, not their real names. But they never showed up, and I shrugged it off as they're just being flaky, which is normal. But then right after it hit midnight, I get a call on my cell phone. It's Christine. She's freaking out. She's crying, saying something about an accident, and it happened on a particular dark road to my house. Since my house is in the hills, it's common to drive through dark roads. However, this particular road is unique. It's where it goes from light to dark. If you were driving at night, you would get off the freeway into a brightly lit wide street. Then in the distance, you'll notice the street changes. All you'll see is a tunnel of darkness. The road will suddenly narrow to 2 lanes. Ditches will appear on both sides, and there'll be barely enough space for 2 cars. The trees get closer in, covering the sky, and there are no lights. No street lights. The houses on the road are tucked far beyond the trees. Your headlights and taillights, like that's all you get from one end to the other. As soon as I got the call from Christine, me and my marong, we drove over to them. As we got closer, 2 police cars blocked the road. I ran out, and they motioned me to walk down the road. I'll never forget it. Far down towards the middle of the road were flashing red lights from the ambulance and the police cars. It was the only source of light. I noticed my friend's car was stopped in the middle of the road. As I walked past, I noticed the front windshield was shattered. Then I saw the back windshield shattered with a hole in the center. The car left a trail of sparkling glass behind it, leading me towards the flashing red lights. I see Laura and Christine walking towards me. Christina had what looked like glitter in her hair, but it was shattered glass. A cop came over, started helping them grab whatever they needed from their car. As we left, the cop asked if they wanted the pearl necklace in the back seat. Laura and Christine looked at each other and they said no, it's not theirs, and we walked away. And that's when they told me what happened. They were driving along, listening to music, laughing, talking. Then suddenly, bang! The front windshield burst, shattering glass all over them. And then another bang! The back windshield shatters as well. Both of them were confused. Laura, who was driving, had no idea what was going on. She turns to Christine in the passenger seat. She's covered in glass. Christine asks, what happened? Laura slows down and stops. They hear something or someone from behind them. Laura looks through the rearview mirror, but could barely make out what is behind the shattered glass. Christine slowly gets out of the car to look. The road and the trees were lit in red with the brake lights. Further down, she can see someone in the middle of the road. It's a man with his back towards her. He's standing, hunched over, looking down on the ground. That's when she realized he is standing over a woman's body. Christine tells Laura, do not step out, and calls the ambulance. What apparently happened, they hit a woman in the middle of the road. Her body shattered the front windshield and then the back. I never told my mom about this incident, but a few months after, my mom, who is a doctor in the area, shared with me a story a patient told her. The patient said she knew of an elderly couple that went to a New Year's Eve party in the hills. As the couple were crossing a dark road, the wife got hit by a car and died. But she thinks that the husband pushed her in front of the car on purpose. She added a small detail, which I found really interesting, was that she said that the woman's pearls went missing. As for the pearls, when my friend eventually picked up her car, she realized that the pearls in the back seat actually belonged to the woman that was killed. What's interesting now is that people who take this particular road to get to my house, even though they don't know the story, some of them have mentioned the eerie feeling they get from the back seat of the car. That's crazy.
That's the lady behind you.
Oh gosh.
Of course, she's behind the curtains.
Well, that's why I changed my desk position, so no one's gonna be behind me.
The crazy thing is about this, I don't know if you guys ever went down the street to get to my house, but it's really a dark street.
I have, yeah.
When you step on the brake lights, you could see it fills up the whole area with red light.
Yeah, it's really, really dark. You're right, it's really dark.
So McCoy, what's your spooky, scary story?
Well, I'm not sensitive to this, so I have to rely on others to tell me their story. So I'm gonna relay one from my sister-in-law. Yeah. And she called me a couple of times about this. And, I listen to a lot of like paranormal podcasts and all that stuff. So I gave her advice based on what I hear from the podcast. Anyway, so we were listening to a podcast called Something Scary. She was ahead by like a few episodes. So at the time, Sapphire Sandalo, I believe, was hosting the podcast and she was telling this story. So the episode was about a burial ritual with drum playing, and she played the actual music. Someone wrote in and said, I don't think you should be playing that because that drum, that music is to invite spirits to come to your house during this ritual. So what she did was she re-edited the episode to slow down the music so it sounds different. But the problem is that was a week after she initially published the episode. So I heard the edited version, but my sister-in-law heard the original version. So her story is, when she was listening to this episode, she was listening at home while she was cooking. And I told her, I don't know why you do that. Like, I could never listen to stories like this at home because it scares me too much. So that same night, I'm going to read her story. That same night, I woke up at 2 a.m., which is not unusual to get a drink of water or use the restroom. When I walked into the kitchen, I had an uneasy feeling as if I was being watched. We've lived in the same house for over 10 years, and I've never felt that way before. A few days after, the security alarm kept going off in the middle of the night. It was weird because I would wake up first, then a few seconds later, the alarm panel would say kitchen side window, and the alarm will ring. It happened at 1 a.m., then again at 3 a.m. After shutting off the alarm, I went back to bed when I heard 2 knocks on our bedroom window, which is right above our bed. The knocking sound was loud, as if it was from the inside of the room, not outside. We have a raised foundation, so the window cannot be reached by anyone standing outside. I know this for a fact. You cannot get to that side of the house and climb onto the thing and knock. No, you cannot. So anyways, continuing the story. I eventually fell asleep, but when I woke up, I heard scratching coming from between the walls in the bedroom. Other bizarre things have happened to me, such as chair will rotate to face me but no one is sitting on it, and random static calls on my cell phone. But more recently, I woke up in the middle of the night to find a girl standing in the corner of our bed with long, black, messy hair staring at me. Her hair was scattered in front of her face, but I can feel her staring. I couldn't do anything but keep my gaze on her until her image disappeared. A few nights after, I felt someone pinch my big toe to wake me up when no one is there. It has calmed down a bit since then. She sees shadows or figures walk by in the peripheral, walking towards the kitchen or sometimes in the backyard. While this was happening, she would call me from time to time with like, I was in the backyard, I was smoking, and then the chair rotated to face her, and she was looking at the wind chime if there was like a wind or something. But the funny thing is that chair that rotates is broken. It doesn't rotate easily. You have to like really put some effort into making it spin. So it rotated to face her and she was like, I'm done. So she went inside the house. And I told her, because I listen to a lot of podcasts like scary stuff, and the one thing that's constant with their advice is first thing you do is claim your space, tell them they're not welcome. So I told her maybe you should do that. And she did. And I think ever since then it kind of calmed down, but not completely gone. So she feels like she has this attachment ever since listening to that episode.
So it happened after listening to that one episode.
Yeah, like that same night.
And
It was like a burial
it
ritual
was
that
in drums.
like the drum, according to one listener, said it's supposed to invite spirits or the spirits of your ancestors or something like that to your house where you're doing this ritual. I guess I'm not sure as to what. If anyone knows, they should email us to let us know. But I think it's supposed to.
No, they should not let us know what the. We are not endorsing McCoy and practice this drum circle.
No. I'm saying as to what the drum thing is for, because.
Well, no, actually, for our listeners, I'm gonna play it really quick just so you guys can.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so that's her story. Me, the only thing that really happened to me was in Mexico, and I don't even know. I always deny that it's something scary, because compared to other stories, it's like what, I don't know what it was. Anyways, I was in Guanajuato City in Mexico, and I had an early flight the next day. Granted, the city is very old and it's very creepy, but it's beautiful. So my hotel room, I had packed already. I set up what I was gonna wear the next day because my flight, I had to leave the hotel around like 4 a.m. I don't want to rush, so I had my jeans folded, my shirt, and my hoodie and all that, underwear and all that, and I put a pair of socks inside my shoes. So just put on the shoes like very quick. So anyway, so the next morning I shower and I get out and I put on my pants and I was gonna put on my socks and my shoes, and that's when I realized, where's the other sock? So I was like, shit, I'm sure I put it in my shoe, but fine. Like, I just lost a pair. I'm like so pissed. So I have to go into my bag that I already packed and get another pair. So I put on my shoes, put on my belt, and I was about to put on my shirt and my hoodie. The one sock that I couldn't find was between the shirt and the hoodie. So I don't know if anyone went inside my room to mess with me or someone was already in there. I have no idea. But when I realized that, I was like, I'm fucking out of here, grabbed my bag, and just left.
Maybe it was like the Airbnb owner fucking with you when you were sleeping.
No, it's an actual hotel.
It was like, this queen is a mess.
No, but I wasn't a mess. I was already packed and all that. But
did you feel anything?
I'm like as sensitive as a doorknob, so no. But the room is pitch black because it only has one. It's not even a window. It's more like a French door that leads into the balcony, because my room was facing the plaza. And what I didn't realize was it's a college town and it's the weekend, so they were partying in the plaza. I had to close my door, which made the room pitch black. And keep in mind, it's a very, very big room. It's like for a family, because there was like a loft on top of me with like a couple of beds. So I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, if I hear walking above me, I'm fucking out of here. I'll sleep in the streets if I have to. But yeah, so that's what happened, and I just grabbed my bag and I just like almost ran downstairs. But the whole time I'm like, maybe I was just imagining it. Maybe I didn't know I put it in between. I don't know.
But why would you
do
that to begin with?
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing when I pack. It's like layer of like the sequence of when you put things on. And then I always put my socks and my shoes because I know that's where I'm gonna be grabbing.
Yeah, no, because I learned my lesson. I almost missed the flight a couple of times because I forgot to pack the night before. So that's why I've been doing that. When that happened, I'm like, what the heck? Maybe it was just me. Like I'm in denial that something did that or someone did that. I'm just thinking maybe I forgot.
Well, there's one way to find out. It's called Spirit in the Glass.
No, I don't want to.
Speaking of that, let's introduce the Filipino word of the day.
So the Filipino word of the day is hilakbot.
Hilakbot. Oh, bot.
Bot with a T.
Hilakbot.
Yeah.
That?
Okay, that will do. Yeah, it means fright or extreme fear.
Okay, what? Use it in a sentence.
Okay, sentence. When I hear scary ghost stories, I feel hilakbot.
Feel hilakbot. Like that? I got it right.
Yes.
It seems like it's more like goosebumps or something.
I think it's like
feeling like the back of your the hair.
Yeah, like a feeling. Yeah.
You know how you don't get that?
I don't. When my coworker said, "You know that feeling when someone's watching you?" I'm like, I don't, because I don't know.
Wait,
I'm not sensitive.
You really don't have a feeling when someone's staring at you?
No. Which I'm glad. because that's why I'm very into paranormal, because I don't have any experiences myself. If I experience or see anything, I'm probably done with it.
I don't think you should be worried that you're not feeling that. I think it's just more when an actual person is staring at
And
you
I don't
you
feel- yeah.
something. That's why you should be like, fuck it. Something's wrong with me. You know?
I will second that. Maybe you're the actual ghost, McCoy.
Oh, baby, I'm the others.
This entire time.
Oh, you know what I did? Okay, hopefully this cannot be used in court, but this is just a pretend story. So, or at work, we have this L-shaped desk. So my coworker, keep in mind, this is just fiction. So so it can't be sued. So she was getting something from her purse, so she was facing away. So I snuck, and she has her own office. We have our own offices. So I snuck in behind her while she was getting whatever was in her purse. And as she turns her seat, I turned with it. I was like behind her chair. So I stood there against the wall, and I'm like watching her work for like 30 seconds. And I growl.
Like how? Show us.
I can't. I can't.
Come on, growl.
I can't. But-
Insert growl here. Correct.
Wait, like a cheetah
I was like,
tester?
not like rawr, but like like, you know, like a growl.
Do it one more time for us, McCoy. Growl for us. We need it for the soundbite,
Growl. Yeah.
please. No, you have to do it.
I cannot. I
Make
can't.
these life easier. Please do it. No, do it by itself.
I already
It's gonna be hard
did
to
it.
edit that. Do it one more time, please. Both of them, please.
Wait, which one?
Yeah,
The
you can
actual
just-
growl or
you can decide.
well?
Both.
Wait, now let me think. Like, ow.
I'll use that.
Okay.
I can't. So anyway, so I growl, and I see her stiffen her back. It's like a scream that came from within, with genuine fear. Like her back straightened. I mean, if you hear a growl behind you and no one's supposed to be there because her chair is against the wall, but I was like behind her, she had no
Yeah,
idea.
you should call HR.
This is fiction. So yeah, she was so scared, and she had like back pains like the whole day.
I actually love doing that. Like that's one thing that I almost do that on a regular basis with a motto.
Oh my god!
There was one time where like this one time I mean I have videos. That's how fucked up I am because I record the videos and I save it on my phone because sometimes I'll just watch it and just I need to laugh or something.
And then you'll share a compilation of your husband's reactions on our Instagram, please.
Well, some of them I can, some I can't because sometimes he'll just out in the shower and like not even a towel. So those ones I can. And basically there are some like
So we'll post that on
NSFW,
RG.
like,
So please follow us on Instagram.
How about you, Greg? Do you do stuff like that?
No, people usually scare me because I am such a pussycat. Like I do
Yes.
not like horror movies. I get easily scared. Like it's the worst.
I'm known to hide under people's desks
Wait, what?
and scare them. Okay.
Again, HR.
HR's having a field day. They're making overtime on this.
Once again, this is fiction. I mean, I don't hide under there to do anything bad. I just grab their feet.
And then you growl at them. What's the growl again?
Yes. Ow. I'm not even drunk. This is crazy. So yeah.
And on that growl, that concludes our show. If you'd like to make a comment or have questions, we will respond. You could reach us at
On social media, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at GamChat Podcast. And also you can leave a message on Anchor, also GamChat Podcast.
Or you could email us any questions, comments to gamchatpodcast@gmail.com. And please, 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 we need you to, I'm campaigning. It's almost election. Need you to go Apple Podcasts, hit that 5 stars, leave us a good comment. And that keeps us in the, what do you call it?
Pop.
In the running for Miss Universe.
There you go, McCoy. So go ahead and give us a comment. Let us know where we can improve things. We might not listen to it, but hey, you're still reaching out to us. That's all that matters.
And have a safe and happy Halloween. Insert McCoy's growl here. Catch you on the next one.